One of the biggest misconceptions I hear, especially when it comes to firming up the arms, is it's just about doing more exercises or reps. But before we even talk about exercise, we have to understand what's happening in the body, especially as we age. Because arm jiggle isn't just about fat. It's influenced by hormonal changes, protein intake, and sarcopenia. As we age, levels of estrogen, testosterone, and growth hormone naturally changes. These changes lead to reduced collagen production, decreased skin elasticity, and an inability to build and maintain muscle. Nutrition is also a major consideration when it comes to building muscle tissue. It's important to ensure that you are eating enough protein to support the tissue repair. Without enough protein, the body simply doesn't have the raw materials it needs to maintain muscle and connective tissue. Another factor to consider is sarcopenia, which is the natural loss of muscle mass with age. Dynapenia is the loss of strength and the ability to produce force in the muscle, meaning that also needs to be considered. So it's not just that muscles get smaller, they lose their ability to activate, create tension, and support the joint. Now, once we understand that foundation, we can start to talk about how exercise actually works. When it comes to building muscle, your body responds to three key things: load, time under tension, and strain. Let's start with load. So load is simply how much weight you're asking your body to handle. One common mistake I see, and especially in women, is using weights that are actually too light to challenge the tissue. If the load is too low, the body has no reason to adapt, no reason to build muscle, no reason to strengthen connective tissue, and really no reason to improve tone. So even though you feel like you're working, nothing is really changing at the tissue level. The second piece is time under tension. This is how long the muscle is actually working during a movement. Not just how many reps you do, but how much meaningful tension you're creating over time. If you're moving quickly, swinging weights, or just going through the motions, you're not actually keeping the muscle under tension long enough to create any changes. What we want is controlled movement, where the muscle is engaged the entire time, especially through the hardest parts of the motion, because that sustained tension is what signals the body to adapt. Our final major factor in building muscle is strain. And I'm not talking about strain like you pulled something, I'm talking about strain as a mechanical concept. Strain is how much the tissue deforms under load. In simple terms, it's how the muscle, tendon, and fascia respond when you apply force to them. When you apply the right amount of load over enough time, you create strain in the tissue. And that strain is what stimulates adaptation. It tells the body, we need stronger muscle, we need more resilient connective tissue, we need better structural support. Now that we've covered the big threes of muscle growth, I would like to touch just a little bit on tissue pliability. If a muscle and its surrounding fascia aren't able to lengthen, adapt, and glide, they can't accept load properly. And if they can't accept load, you can't create meaningful strain. This is where myofascial stretching becomes critical. Myofascial stretching doesn't just stretch a muscle, it changes the quality of the tissue itself. When done correctly, myofascial stretching improves the ability of the muscle and fascia to lengthen under load. It increases the time under tension in a much more specific, targeted way. It allows you to adapt and apply the load through a greater range of motion. It helps rehydrate tissue, and it begins to reorganize the fascia structure around the muscle. This last part is huge, because your fascia acts like a container around the muscle. If that container is stiff, restricted, or disorganized, it actually limits how much the muscle can function and even how it can grow. But when you improve fascial organization and pliability, you create more space, better load distribution, and better force transmission, which means the muscle doesn't just get stronger, it has the potential to develop more fully. So when you look at the full picture, arm jiggle isn't just one issue. It's a combination of hormonal changes, low protein intake, sarcopenia and dynapenia, poor load, not enough time under tension, insufficient strain, and reduced tissue quality. So instead of thinking, I just need more exercises or I just need more reps, start thinking in terms of, am I creating enough load? And am I keeping the muscle under tension long enough? Am I applying the right level of strain to actually stimulate change? Is my tissue pliable enough to accept that load? And am I giving my body the nutritional and hormonal environment it needs to rebuild? Because when all those pieces are in place, your training stops being random and your body finally has a reason to adapt. And when the body adapts, the muscles don't just get stronger, they start to take shape. So let's jump into my favorite exercises for the tricep jiggle. Here's how we strengthen the triceps to combat the arm jiggle. So when we look at the triceps, remember we have three heads, right? We have a lateral head, we have a long head and we have a medial head, okay? So they come from different spots on the shoulder, and then they have a common tendon that attaches down low, okay, around the elbow just below. So when we strengthen them from a standing position, we want to make sure that we're hitting all three heads, okay? And because we're talking about building some muscle strength and size, we want to do somewhere between 8 to 12 repetitions, 1 to 3 sets per arm. So my first position, I'm going to come down, and what I'm going to want to work with this first position is the lateral head, okay? So when I'm working the lateral head of the tricep, I'm going to come down, I'm going to line my arm up with my back so it's not below, it's not above, it's in line. I'm going to bend forward, I'm going to pronate the wrist and forearm, and then from there I'm simply going to extend the elbow joint, keeping everything else fixed. So that's going to be for the lateral head or the outside head. I'm going to do 8 to 12 reps, and then I'm going to switch sides, 8 to 12 on the other side, okay? I'm going to come right back to my first side. All I'm going to do is I'm going to change from pronation to supination so that now I'm working the medial head or the most inside head. The repetitions are the same and the motion is the same. I'm simply extending the elbow, keeping my arm in tight to my back, 8 to 12 reps. I switch sides, and then I go into the long head. Same concept. Now I'm no longer pronated nor supinated. I'm neutral at the forearm, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to do it for 8 to 12 reps, nice and smooth and controlled throughout the entire movement. I'm not letting the weight swing. I'm not letting the weight drop. I'm controlling it to keep that nice time under tension. Make sure you do both sides, 8 to 12 reps per tricep head, 1 to 3 sets. After we've strengthened all three heads of the triceps, we also want to make sure that we're stretching them. I prefer myofascial stretching to create pliability of the tissue. So it's not just about range of motion, it's how well can you create gliding, not only within each individual muscle head, but between the triceps and everything that surrounds them. So for the stretching, it's going to look like this. We're going to go and we're going to have our pinky finger towards the spine. I'm going to do a little pelvic tilt. I'm going to use this hand to gently pull my elbow across. And now at the same time, I'm thinking of reaching my elbow to the ceiling, but pulling my scapula to the floor, okay? So pinky to the spine, a gentle pulling of the arm, and then at the same time, I'm trying to lengthen, both pushing up at the elbow and down at the scapula, okay? We're gonna hold that for 30 seconds, and then we're gonna switch sides. After that, position 2, you're gonna put your thumb to your spine. Same concept, I'm gently pulling on the elbow, I'm pushing to the ceiling and pulling to the floor. I'm going to hold that for 30 seconds. I'm going to switch sides. And then lastly, I'm going to have my palm to my spine. Everything else is the same. I'm pulling on the arm. I'm gently pushing down with my scapula, pushing up through my elbow. I'm going to hold that for 30 seconds. And then I'm going to switch sides. 1 set, 3 positions per side, 90 seconds total time under tension per side.